I'm not even close. Alrighty. I think we're live. Yeah, we are. What's going on, everybody? Here we are, Wednesday, March 20th. 9-game slate, evidently, not 11, because can't count. Should be interesting. We've got the Knicks coming in with an implied total under 100 while playing at home, so that's fantastic. That should be a really great game to take a look at. 3 games starting at 7 o'clock. Late night hammer, Portland and Dallas. Glad to put that Tuesday slate to bed. Way too much weird garbage from yesterday. Adam, how you feeling today?
Pretty good. Really excited not to be playing yesterday. But yeah, I don't know. Looking forward to tonight. Did some work yesterday in Excel to maybe actually try and be able to make some cash lineups too. So looking forward to seeing how that goes.
Ooh, there you go. That should be fun. Another way to lose. Way to lose.
Yeah, but I figure if I try a bunch of different things at once, I'm less likely to lose all of them in the same night, so I can still feel a little bit better about myself.
There you go. Anything to hang your hat on.
Yeah.
NBA Strategy is the promo code, 50% off your first month with us. Any monthly package you choose, including packages with Fantasy Cruncher, you get 50% off. You can't really beat it. Baseball coming up around the corner. You could even use the code and get an all-access package and check out what we've got for baseball starting a week from tomorrow. I mean, technically today, but a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, so baseball season already started.
Yeah, but like it didn't.
Yeah, but Domingo Santana hit a grand slam.
He did. I was like, oh, cool. It's 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm getting baseball alerts on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so real baseball starts on Thursday. Shout out to Thrive Fantasy. If you go to bit.ly/Osimo, enter the promo code ThriveStrat, one big word. You don't even have to make a deposit. You just get a free $5. Did I say ThriveStrat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Osimo Strat. One day he'll be good at this. I doubt it. Thrive is a DFS site where you get a list of 20 player props. You pick your favorite 10. I have them all on the screen right now in order. This is how I repeatedly assaulted Adam. Uh-oh. I'm dropping frames. Keep an eye on that. So Thrive gives you a list of 20. You pick your favorite 10, and you're trying to pick whether somebody's going to go over a certain points, rebounds, assists number. Sometimes those categories added together, and you get points if they go over or under. Goal is to try and get the most points. So go to bit.ly/Osimo.
That's where I went wrong.
Oh, you weren't. See, that was the problem. Adam was trying to get the second most points, and he did a hell of a job.
Yeah, that way you're playing low ball. Killed it.
Shout out to Draymond Green for putting up like 39 FanDuel or fantasy points yesterday and not 18 or something garbagey. So not that he mattered, but I'm very happy that he wasn't total garbage. Will there be a Josh versus Adam NBA rematch, or will we do one in MLB? That's a question from EMAC. I don't know. Probably do one for baseball.
Do one in MLB, yeah.
What would they be in baseball?
It's got to be a lot of pitching.
Yeah. It almost has to just be pitching. It's not like you're going to be like over under triples for Juan Pierre.
Total bases and stuff.
Yeah, that one's not bad. Still going to be like... it's not
like I know they're the site that came before them that did a shittier version of what they do would do like total bases kind of stuff. And yeah, basically total bases.
Baseball's trickier.
Yeah.
Yeah, EMAX says total bases. Yeah, I'm happy to beat Adam in baseball as well. So I live for the look on your face when I say that shit.
Well, it's harder on me when I'm in the middle of a losing streak on other sites too, and I can't even throw that in your face.
Makes it even better for me in a way. What do you think of Mike Trout's contract?
I think he deserves it. I mean, yeah.
If anybody's going to get it, it should probably be him.
Yeah, and he's still, 25, 26, 27?
Yeah, and he could probably retire tomorrow and legitimately be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, absolutely would be. Okay, so here's a quick question for you. Do you consider Mike Trout a superstar?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah. Probably the dumbest tweet I've ever seen on Twitter yesterday.
I mean, he's been the best player in baseball for like, I don't know, basically since the day that he came up.
Yeah. Well, and the argument, and the more I thought about it, the more I agreed. Like
I mean, do you
that
mean
I
like
did originally.
culturally?
Right. It was that he's not famous enough to be a true superstar, and
I mean, that's
I
not wrong.
right. I mean, I get it, but I still think if you're the best player, like hands down in one of the major sports, it's got to be like some kind of sliding scale where,
Yeah.
like, if like Mike Trout, if he walks into a mall, maybe everyone's not like, "Holy shit, it's Mike Trout." But if Mike Trout sits down next to you at the bar and is like, "Hey, I'm Mike Trout," like average Joe in America still is like, "Oh, wait, like I know you."
Yeah, for sure. That's just not how like baseball is, unless you're a
Right.
Lothario like Derek Jeter, just
Yeah, like
grabbing
Jeter,
200
Harper.
broads.
Yeah, Jeter, Harper.
Yeah. Look, if Mike Trout was the center fielder for the Yankees for the past 7 years and did the same thing, he's a much more recognizable name.
If Mike Trout was a center fielder for the Yankees the last 7 years and did 3/4 of what he does, he's just hands down the best player of all time in everyone's mind.
Shit, you can put him on the Mets too.
Right. Yeah.
But no, I mean, that's not how baseball really works. Especially because it's really hard to like market yourself as fun in baseball because you're not supposed to have
Right.
fun playing
Yeah.
baseball. Like
Yeah.
the culture of the game is very different.
Right.
And the culture of the United States in terms of sports are shading a different direction, and it's not towards baseball.
Right. Yeah. So like, yeah, when I first saw the tweet, I was just like, "What? Like, how is this even a thing?" And then the more I thought about it, it made sense. But I still just don't see how it possibly applies to Mike Trout.
Yeah, I think I saw was maybe this is what prompted it. There was some sort of list that came out recently that like only had Bryce Harper on it from some sort of like notoriety landscape, and he was like 96th out of 100
Yeah.
in terms of athletes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, baseball just doesn't, and it's part of the problem. Like, baseball just doesn't market itself well.
Yeah.
And Trout himself doesn't particularly want to market himself, but
Yeah, and you know what? I don't blame him because he just
no.
inked a deal for $400 million and doesn't have to do shit and can go to a mall and not have
Yeah.
people abuse
Like
him.
Colin Cowherd tweeted, like, "Congrats on being rich and irrelevant." Like, who wouldn't want to be Mike Trout and nobody know that you're Mike Trout?
Yeah, that's fantastic. I would much prefer I would much rather be Mike Trout than Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
You know, like two guys that have infinite money, essentially. But Harper has to deal with shit, and Trout's just like, no, I'm just gonna play baseball and be the best
Yeah.
one here.
Also, how mad do you think Harper is that he does not have an opt out in his deal?
Very. I mean, I would just be mad that I had to live in Philadelphia for 10 years.
Yeah, I mean,
That's 2 straight shows with shots at Philly, folks. That'd be where I would be at.
yeah, Laffy's not even here to defend it this time.
Yeah, he would no live before lock last night too.
Okay.
Yeah, literally 2 straight. All right, let's get into this. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna start off with a doozy, and I don't even know how we talk about this game quite yet, but certainly gonna try. The Cleveland Cavaliers are hosting the Milwaukee Bucks. 108 implied total for the Cavs. It's the depth chart. 118.5 for the Bucks. Why can I not get to the damn depth chart here? Depth chart. There it is. Okay. Cavs. Kevin Love questionable. Tristan Thompson questionable. Larry Nance questionable. Delly out. On the Bucks side, Giannis questionable. Ilyasova questionable. Dante DiVincenzo questionable. Pau Gasol questionable. Sterling Brown out. Just need to get that out there that there are 10 guys with Q tags who are out today. So I have everybody in for Cleveland. What do you have any takes? Do you have Nance in, out, Love in, out? What do you got going on for Cleveland? Because it's going to help for us to talk about this.
Yeah, I have Nance, Thompson out. I have Love in.
Okay. For Milwaukee, do you have anybody out?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. Do you have Giannis in? That's really the only one that matters.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I have Giannis in.
Okay. So Cavs in a pace-up spot. Not a great spot in any other way. I guess they should be happy that Milwaukee's on a back-to-back, but if Kevin Love doesn't play, I think you take the entire Milwaukee starting five before you get to a Cav. So. Do you want anything from Cleveland?
Actually, I think they're kind of interesting.
Let's do it.
So, I mean, if Thompson and Nance are out, actually, I guess that doesn't even matter that much because, if they're out, you still get your 30 minutes from Zizic, and he probably still sucks, but he's still cheap.
Yes, he is in play if both of those guys are out.
Yeah, but where I actually found them, kind of interesting is their price tags on DraftKings at least are pretty cheap. Jordan Clarkson's 4,600.
He's the only guy I got, so go ahead.
It's not that you expect him to do great all that often, but it's pretty tough to find a guy in that price range that is capable of going out there and shooting 20 plus times. And Clarkson does give you that. It is a pace up spot. So, I think that's interesting. Chatty is playing huge minutes. He's 5,700. Not a priority play, but someone that I think, can fill lineups out. And the same goes for Colin Sexton. If Love is out, then you also get, David Nwaba as a value play, potentially Marcus Chris, though I don't expect him to, do what he did last game. But like Nwaba, especially like FanDuel at 3,800, would help out.
Okay. Yeah. So with having all those guys in, Clarkson is the only one that shows up, and that's including having Kevin Love in.
Right.
If I hop back to this now, we have Clarkson and Chetty getting 11% ownership on FanDuel. We don't have anybody else really getting anything. And then on DK, same guys, Chetty and Jordan Clarkson. Obviously, Zizic looks solid if he can get to 30 minutes. I gave Tristan Thompson 12. I gave Nance 24 just to see how things looked. I assume one of those guys plays. I know that Tristan Thompson has been able to get back out and go through warm-ups and stuff, but he has not practiced yet, so we'll get some word before their shoot-around today. And ultimately, I'm not super upset about not finding enough Cavs to play. I'd rather just never play them, I guess.
Yeah.
Be happier on a day-to-day basis. This is DFS. There's not a lot of room for happiness. All right. We just got our ownership projection, so I'm just adding those in now. Yeah, it looks like I'm over the field on Clarkson and no one else, and that's perfectly okay to me. 4,600, I'll take my chances on Clarkson just just having a good shooting day is really all you need.
Right. It's just really difficult to find the kind of upside in that price range that he gives you.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys in the NBA that's certainly like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If it's going well for him, it's coming in bunches.
Perfect tournament play.
Yeah, exactly. And again, if I got Colin Sexton, I'm okay with it, but I just can't make that a priority on a 9-game slate.
Yeah, although there are a couple of just absolute trash games.
Yes, there are. We will get to those today. Milwaukee. Giannis is $13K on FanDuel. He's $11.4 on DraftKings, $54 on Yahoo. I mean, you'll be hard-pressed to find a better spot for him in the grand scheme of things, but I'll have some on FanDuel. 13K is a lot. I'll have some on DraftKings. As the day goes on, I assume that I get more and more if he is in because value will open up. Right now, I don't have anything crazy, but he grades out really, really well. He's just hard to pay up for without value yet.
Right. And also, I think it depends on the site a bit. Also, like DraftKings, he's still $1,100 more than Westbrook. Yeah. And you don't have to roster a true small forward. You have a lot more options to position. Whereas FanDuel, you don't. So I think he probably would end up being in more FanDuel lineups for me than DraftKings.
Yeah, I have twice as much Giannis on FanDuel right now than I do on DK. And that's exactly why. Yeah,
yep.
Can't get away from him as much. Bledsoe's the guy that I still want to go to quite a bit here. 7,400 on FanDuel, 6,500 on DraftKings. I'm just going to have quite a bit of Bledsoe. He's my favorite buck play. And if Giannis ends up out for some reason, that just gets cemented even more. How do you feel about Bledsoe?
If Giannis is in, I like him. I don't like completely love him. I think that he would end up being a secondary option for me. If Giannis is out, then he's a top play again.
Okay. That $6,500 price tag is just silly to me.
Yeah, it's too cheap, but so are a lot of guys.
That's a very true statement. I'm not really getting to Chris Middleton at all on FanDuel at 7,600, but shooting guard, small forward, and 6,700 on DraftKings, he's pretty difficult to ignore.
Yep, I agree. I have him. But when you consider the positions, I think I probably get to more Middleton than Bledsoe if Giannis is in.
Okay. Yeah, and that makes perfect sense to me. The price tag is so discounted compared to FanDuel, and just being able to put him in 5 of your 8 roster spots on DraftKings really opens it up. Talk to me about Mirotic. 35% expected ownership on FanDuel right now. 17 on DK. I can't imagine going there if Giannis is in. And I don't really have a ton of interest if he's out.
Right. So if Giannis is in, I would expect around 26 minutes from Mirotic. He's averaged like 0.85 points per minute alongside Giannis so far. I don't hate it on FanDuel because he is a small forward. He is reasonably priced. 4,900 on DraftKings ends up being like a completely neutral play for me. If Giannis is out, then I think maybe you get like 28 minutes from him, 28, 29 minutes. He is greater than a point per minute player without Giannis. So I would have more interest in him. The thing here is I feel very similarly to how I did yesterday. I think he's a good play. I don't think he's as good a play as like everyone else does. Like yesterday, I was perfectly fine getting around 30% on DraftKings, around 40% on FanDuel. He was 60% owned in some stuff. That was absurd to me. So it's another spot where like I think he's that kind of play where like 30% is probably good, but he's not like a clear top play on the slate.
Why isn't he playing more?
Because he can't play defense.
Sure.
And because there's no reason for him to. Like, I think his role in the playoffs is to play, 24, 26 minutes.
Sure. And I don't disagree with that, but like to see Pat Connaughton get 36 minutes and DJ Wilson get 31 and then Mirotic still only get 24 with both of those guys out. Is just...
Mirotic also was hurt for a few minutes.
Right. You did leave the floor for a bit, come back in. I don't know. I just like, especially once Ilyasova got scratched, I was just like, now I'm okay with this. I had him in like 90% of my FanDuel stuff.
Okay, yeah. I was around
on DraftKings. I didn't care all that much. FanDuel, it was just like he's a 5K small forward.
Yeah, but Bielitsa was a 4,500 small forward.
Yeah. Whatever. I just like that's just where I was for yesterday. It made me really happy once Ilyasova was out. I was like, okay, there's no way he doesn't play 30 minutes today.
Yeah. I jammed in a bunch of DJ Wilson at 8% on the DraftKings at minimum salary.
Me too. Had like 40%, went great.
Yeah. Got 30 minutes from him.
Yep. And
10 points.
3.1 fantasy points.
Yep.
Awful. How much Ilyasova did you have on FanDuel?
40%.
So did I. Yeah. I didn't care, but
no.
It sucked.
No, actually, it was actually kind of nice at the end of the night when you're like going through your lineup trying to see if any of them have a chance at winning something, and you see how many minutes you have left. It's really frustrating on FanDuel when you see you have like 6 quarters left, and then you see that they're all from or 4 of them or 3 of them were from a drop.
Yeah,
it was nice having those Ilyasova lineups because none of them were from a drop.
Yeah, you knew you were going to be gaining on it.
Yeah.
That's the fun way to do it. They need to figure out a different way to keep that scoring somehow.
They need to just get rid of the stupid drop.
Yeah, but then you burned 40% of your Ursan Ilyasova lineups last night.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know what the mechanism is for wanting to keep that. You should be able to like select the guys that you want to count as the drop, like manually. I don't know.
Why would you ever pick not the lowest guy?
It's because I would know, like, when you have that one guy that you're not going to get any points for like the first 17 points that he scores, when you're down to that last guy, like just swapping to that and knowing what your real score is.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like it gets to a point at the end of the night where like your score isn't really your score anymore. And you're waiting for that last guy to cross the threshold of your 8th guy. And I always just want to like tap on that guy's name so it like shifts the scoring around. And I take those points out and just hope that I can keep going with that guy.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, it would. I'm sure it's way beyond FanDuel, but
Yeah, they're not doing that shit.
considering like I still can't even sort my current lineups page by like what's winning the most or anything like that.
Is that
But
not the most ridiculous thing in the world?
it really sucks when you're because like so to give them credit, I love what they're doing with like these 150 max tournaments at like $3 and $4 and $5 and $7. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty fun. It's really frustrating when like I'll see my currently winning jump by like $2,000 and I'm like, oh, that means I'm towards the top of something. Let me click through 900 different things and see where it is.
I'll never understand why you can't sort by points, minutes left, salary left would always be really helpful to me.
Yeah.
I mean, anything basically. Sort by literally anything. In the FanDuel app, you can't even scroll down all the way. Like, you will get to a bottom and it won't load anymore.
Right.
And that doesn't mean you don't have lineups left. So annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to follow the Mirotic train of chalk here today. I won't mind it so much on FanDuel, again, whether Giannis is in or out, because 5K for a small forward is never going to be something I'll ignore, but I got 1% right now, and he's at 35, so I might be coming in a hair under the field.
Right, and to me, it's not. I'm not even looking at this like consciously saying, oh, I don't want that much Mirotic. I'm just saying that I think I'm going to get probably a pretty healthy amount, and I think it's probably going to be less than everyone else gets, and I'm fine with that.
Works for me. Want to head to Orlando?
Sure.
Said no one ever. The 115.25 implied total Orlando Magic are hosting the New Orleans Pelicans, 108.75. Only news to talk about from Orlando is we can probably ignore Jerry and Grant because now we have Michael Carter-Williams to play the backup point guard. Just good work there, Orlando. That's how bad Jerry and Grant is too, by the way. For the Pels, I think they're at full strength for what they can be. So let's start on the Orlando side. I have just an overwhelming amount of Orlando right now.
As you should.
Really nice implied total. Pelicans defense is terrible and a monstrous pace up spot. 10-5 on FanDuel, 9,500 on DK. I'm hoping you're with me, but he's also chalky. How you feeling about Vooch?
Love him. He's playing bigger minutes now that Orlando's trying to grab that 8 seed. 34 to 36 instead of 32 to 34 makes a difference. Huge pace up spot, like you said. Terrible defense, like you said. Yeah, there's no reason for me not to like Vooch a ton.
Yeah, it's just as good as it gets really for him. Similarly, I've got quite a bit of Aaron Gordon on FanDuel. DraftKings not as much, just with the field. I've got some Fournier, I've got some Isaac, Ross, DJ Augustine. I don't have a problem getting to any of these guys, really. They're all quite a bit better priced on FanDuel and all very similar on DK after you get past the Vooch and Gordon tier. Talk to me about the rest of Orlando.
Yeah, the rest of them, they kind of come in as guys that I'll be very happy to fill out lineups with. They're not the guys that I'm like building around. Right. Vooch is a core piece.
Yeah.
But, like it's the kind of spot where I like Aaron Gordon. I don't love him when he gets up over 7K. Fournier sucks, but so do the Pelicans. So one of them has to do well. Ross is the second most appealing guy to me on DraftKings, just because you do get the extra points for 3-pointers. He has the second highest usage rate on the team. It's a spot where he should get a ton of looks and a ton of good looks. DJ Augustine on FanDuel at 5,500 I think is really appealing. Playing more minutes, and that's by design. They said he was going to. It's a really nice spot for him. So, yeah, I think there's just a ton to like here.
We are on the same page, man. They're checking every box, and no one's priced in any sort of way where you wouldn't want them. So feel free to load in Vooch, and I think you and I will both be. I would expect to have one Magic guy in almost every lineup, but a rotating cast of characters for that spot. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Go to the Pels. I have 1% of Randall on FanDuel, 2% of Darius Miller, which is kind of funny to think about at 9 o'clock in the morning, and nothing on DraftKings. The difficult defensive matchup, not a great implied total, pace down spot. Anybody standing out for you for the Pelicans across the board? What about your boy Elfrid Payton?
Uh, him and Randall on DraftKings at 8K and 8,300 grade out well.
Yeah.
I don't think that they end up being priorities by the end of by the time lot comes. There's just so many other spots to get to.
Yeah.
But, you still have, with Drew out, you still have, a 40+% assist percentage from Peyton. You have Randall pushing 20% in assists, along with his, scoring and rebounding. One really interesting thing with Randall is we had seen Gentry say after that, on the second half of the back-to-back the other day, he had said that Randall was going to play closer to 30 minutes. And then we didn't really know if that was going to carry over or not. He played 34 minutes in their last game, but he did not play in overtime. So it seems like he's not going above 34 minutes.
So, wait, you said Randall there?
Yeah.
So what I shouldn't have him at is 35?
Correct.
Fantastic. I did that specifically today too, so that's funny. I don't know why.
Yeah, I only noticed it because they were playing against Luka, and that was the slate that I had like 85% Luka. So I was paying
That
attention.
was the slate.
it was the last time Luka played.
Oh, clearly.
Yeah. But yeah, so Randall closed out the game and everything, and then just didn't play overtime.
Yeah, I can't imagine wanting to try to prioritize any of the Pels here.
I mean, I like triple doubles at 8K.
Yeah, I could get to him.
And he used to play for the Magic.
Revenge narrative?
Not really.
No.
Yeah, no, but I mean, seriously, I don't think that they are guys that will be priorities for me, but I do think that I'll have some Randall and some Peyton.
Makes sense to me. Who would have thought that Anthony Davis would be playing in a basketball game and we would not even mention him?
Right. I think he's kind of appealing on FanDuel.
7,700.
Just it's not even his price; it's everyone else's price.
Sure.
When I was just kind of hand building a dummy lineup last night, I was going through power forward, and I was just like, I don't want any of this, but I don't want Anthony Davis either.
Would you rather have Aaron Gordon on FanDuel or Anthony Davis?
What was Gordon's price?
7,500.
I mean, it's Gordon because he can play 15 more minutes. But
I agree.
But if I'm making one lineup, it's Gordon. But my point with Davis is that if I'm making 150 lineups, I wouldn't want every spot in that price range to go to Gordon.
Agreed.
Or Mark. Davis can clearly beat Gordon a pretty high percentage of the time.
Yes, he can. Philadelphia 76ers are hosting the Boston Celtics. 114.5 implied total for the Sixers, 111.5 for the Celtics. Fun real game. Maybe not the most fun DFS game. We'll start on the Philly side. We got the big four back. Embiid playing. Shout out to JJ Redick having nearly a triple-double yesterday. I mean, when's the last time JJ had a line that was 27, 10, and 8?
Probably never.
Were you in that ballpark for rebounds and assists there?
Yeah, I underproject him a little bit.
By fucking all of them.
My projections were wrong.
Yeah. Didn't think Redick would be the high scorer for the Sixers at 56 fantasy points. Yet here we are. How you feeling about Philly? These guys are not coming up for me.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, Embiid at 10K on DraftKings is really nice. The problem is that he's $500 more than Vooch. So that's not great.
No.
But yeah, I mean, nothing of priority there. Embiid's my favorite guy from Philly. $8,100 Simmons is a perfectly fair price tag, but there are a lot of guys that I like in that price range on this slate. Jimmy Butler, kind of the same thing. So it's kind of similar to the Pelicans for me, or not the Pelicans. It's similar to Randall and Peyton for me, where they grade out as good plays at their price tag, but they don't grade out as good of a play as some other people that we'll get to.
Yeah, we've got Simmons at 15%, Butler at 15%. They're both on FanDuel, 10 on DK. I have 3% Simmons, 1% Butler. I don't have these guys on DK. I'm just not on the Philly side at all.
The one thing that I like about this game is I think everyone probably plays big minutes.
You would think. Someone will have a fire symbol next to their name when all is said and done, I would imagine, but to prioritize one of these guys, I just can't do it. I'm just happy to know that it won't be Tobias Harris. So if you're curious, everybody, that's the guy to play. Go to Boston, I guess. I don't know what else to talk about for Philly.
Yeah, I think Boston's the more appealing side here.
10-5 on FanDuel, 9,100 on DK. I can't pay the 10-5 tag for Kyrie on FanDuel. 9,100 is fine by me though.
Yeah, I agree. It's a nice matchup. Like we've seen Philadelphia struggle with ball dominant guards all year. They haven't been good defending pick and roll. Kyrie's not the highest frequency pick and roll guy, but he is one of the most efficient. So it is a spot where he should, on paper, do really well. I would expect him to play big minutes in this one. So I like him quite a bit. The problem, I guess, is that Dame Lillard's 8,800, Luka's 8,900. When you put it in context like that, I would be lying if I say that I'm prioritizing Kyrie.
Yeah, we're on the same page here. I only got 8%. I'm fine with that. It's just there are too many other dudes.
Yeah.
Particularly Dame, who grades out so much better than Kyrie. It's kind of silly.
Oh, it only took 60 points for you to decide the Dame without McCollum was good?
No, it took a different game. Took a different one. Completely different. Kyrie 60 burger. Wouldn't shock me. Well, I mean, I guess that would shock me. That's a really big score.
Yeah, if it wouldn't shock you, you should probably be a bit higher on him.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, though. Like, it's certainly it wouldn't be like JJ Redick doing it last night.
Exactly. I want to be like, I couldn't have seen Kyrie ever getting 60.
Right.
I got quite a bit of Horford, 6,700 on FanDuel and 5,900 on DraftKings. And this is a great matchup for Horford. It's another thing that gives me at least mild pause. He has not been great for Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Too smart, I guess. I don't know. But I've got like 23% Horford right now. 5,900 is just too cheap.
Agreed. I'm trying to pull up his recent games. I know his minutes have been down, but I wanted to look and see if they've still been doing the thing where when they play like Eastern Conference rivals, he suddenly plays a shit ton of minutes. But I can't get Cruncher to load, so I'll have to look at that later.
Fair enough. I didn't mention it before. No Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown gets kind of interesting at a cheap price tag.
Yeah, 4,800 on FanDuel, 4,500 on DK. He is the one guy that I am double the field on DraftKings. And, I mean, technically speaking, has a better price tag on FanDuel. But it's really hard to prioritize any specific people here unless there's pricing discrepancies. And I think that Horford and Jaylen Brown are the two pieces that stand out the most.
Yeah, plus Horford has power forward eligibility on DraftKings still.
Right. Yeah, that's massive. It's just so massive. Any Marcus Smart? Any Marcus Morris?
Not in any sort of abundance.
Morris, hella chalky on FanDuel, 20%.
More Morris than Smart, most likely.
Okay.
So 33 minutes last game from Horford against Denver. That's good to see. Bunch of blowouts. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm pretty comfortable at least giving Horford like 32 minutes.
Perfect. I gave him 32. So that works for me.
What did he play last time against Philly? 35 minutes against Philly in their last game. 30 on Christmas Day. But he had just come back from an injury like the game before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Horford plays pretty big minutes here.
Yeah, I mean, anything over 32 is just going to make me want to really smash him.
Right.
As opposed to just like have quite a bit.
Yep.
That's it for me here. Hit that like button while you're here, everybody. Let's see if we have any props we could talk about. Okay. Al Horford. Man, that we're talking about. Rebounds. 7.5 is the over-under. You get 110 points for the over. How you feeling about Al Horford's rebounding chances today?
I'm at 7.2. So if I had to pick it, I guess I would take the over.
I have him at 7.7. I take the over, but it's not one of the 10 highest props for me. Do we have anybody from Philly? Ben Simmons, 7.5 assists. Even action on both sides, 100 points. You taking the over or the under on Ben Simmons' assists?
You said 7.5.
Correct.
7.9.
I've got 7.8. I take the over. It's not one of my top 10.
Yeah.
There we go. We'll hit a couple more props as we go.
Wow. Horford, I just was kind of looking through his numbers over the last like month and a half. And I ran it with Kyrie on the floor just to try and get his numbers a little bit lower, but he's still averaging over a point per minute alongside Kyrie.
Yeah, I got him in for 1.09 today.
I have him at 1.1.
There you go.
I don't know why you dislike him so much.
I'm such a hater, man. I can't give him that extra 100th of a point. I just can't do it. I can't even believe that you're getting to it. There's a flaw in your process.
Damn, that's a lot.
You good?
Yeah. Tongue hurts a little bit now.
I have to put 2 chunks of ice in my first coffee every morning. It just comes out.
I was telling off, like DraftKings gave me like a giant mug at the final, and it's amazing because like I can pour my coffee before the show, take like a 3-hour nap after the show, come back and my coffee's still warm.
Yeah.
But for like the 3 hours before it's just warm, it just stays hot. I forget that it's still hot.
Yeah, it's just part of the process for me now. I got the Yeti mug. Got to put 2 pieces of ice in it, otherwise it's just gonna scorch the shit out of me for like a day. Oh god, I don't even want to talk about this team. I hate this team so much. The New York Knicks are hosting the Utah Jazz. 99.25 implied total for the Knicks. 111.75 for the Jazz. The Knicks are not projected to score 100 points at home. Disgusting.
They're bad.
They are very bad. You would have thought that by trading away, a guy that wasn't playing and getting back actual players, it might have helped, but nope, DSJ is not even playing right now. He's hurt. So, where are the Knicks? So DSJ out, Vonleh doubtful, Frankie Smokes questionable. Who the hell knows? He could play 30 minutes. He could play 0. It's all made up.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems like a randomization. Did you see their rotations? Well, not rotations. Like, did you see everybody that played last game?
No, I don't even look at the Knicks anymore.
Everybody. It was like they won a contest. Everybody got run. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 guys played. No one played less than 12 minutes. Ellenson got in. Cornette got in. Lance Thomas, John Jenkins. They emptied their coffers of garbage.
And it was a 1-point game.
Yeah, I can't.
They all played in the first half.
That's even worse. DeAndre Jordan played 20 minutes. Mitchell Robinson played 14.
Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong game.
So just in case you're trying to hash out center rotations, it's not even just those 2, apparently.
Who did they play on the 18th?
I don't know.
No, they played the Spurs. I think.
I'm going to start on February 24th. This is Henry Ellenson played 4 minutes. And he played 36, 27, 15, 17, 3, 4, DNP, DNP, 4, DNP, 12. It's that sort of shit. So Emmanuel Mudiay is $5K on FanDuel and $4,600 on DraftKings. Should he be chalky?
That's like a really weird question because do I think he has more upside than most people in his price range? Yes. Do I think that he should be highly owned based on his range of outcomes in this matchup? Probably not. So it's just a spot where I would like to do the exact opposite of what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, I got a lot of him to start, so I'm hoping I can offload some of that disgustingness.
Yeah. So looking at their quote-unquote rotations from the last game, At least Cornette and Ellenson did not play in the first half, so they just got pure garbage time. Jenkins did not play in the first half. He subbed in when they line changed after 1 minute and 4 seconds in the third quarter with the Raptors on an 8-0 run in the first minute.
Raptors?
Yeah.
Can you just tell me they played the Spurs?
I said, who did they play? I think it was the Spurs.
It was. Okay, so you never let me know that it wasn't the Spurs.
Yeah, no, it was the Raptors.
Gotcha.
Similar thing, like slow, good defensive team. But so I'm okay throwing out the second half from this game because
throw it all out.
Yeah. The takeaway is that, and everyone already knows it, that the Knicks have a really quick hook and they're going to just change shit up because why not? But if you look at the first half rotation, like you still got a ton of minutes from Moutier. You got a ton of minutes from DeAndre Jordan. You got a ton of minutes from Hezonja for whatever that's worth.
You got a ton of minutes from DeAndre? Did he just not play in the second half?
He played 1 minute in the second half.
There it is.
He was in 20% of my lineup, so it was a lot of fun.
So he's 21% owned on DK right now, 5,700. I gave him 28 minutes.
How many? So yeah, he played 18 minutes in the first half. Actually, he played 19 minutes in the first half.
This is disgusting.
Yeah, like I'm giving him 30.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm giving him 29. I don't know what to do with him.
Him?
Them. Any of them.
I got 27% Hezonja on DraftKings. Do you have any qualms with that other than him being Mario Hezonja?
I mean, yes, I do, but I don't think I'm getting that much. But I think you have him projected, right? If you have him at like 28 minutes or something.
28 on the dot.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you will prioritize from the Knicks?
I will have a lot of $5,700 DeAndre Jordan, I think. I will have a lot of $4,600 Emmanuel Moutier, I think. I will not feel good about any of it.
Agreed. I'm just
Jordan's been really well for what it's worth.
What?
Jordan's been playing really well for what it's worth.
1.25 fantasy points per minute. He's still not the best center on his team from a DFS perspective, but Mitchell Robinson at 1.35 over that same time span. I got nothing. I don't understand anything that's happening to this team. To think this could have been Steve Kerr coaching them.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I mean, he probably would have got fired at this point too, but it might still be Fizdale. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he doesn't have any rings on his fingers.
Yeah.
Unless he bought them. Well, he might be wearing the Bulls ones.
Wow. If I put in DeAndre Jordan's rates since coming to the Knicks, I'm going to get massive amounts of DeAndre Jordan. If I give him 30 minutes. Or 29.
I don't even feel comfortable giving him 28.
The thing is, like, I would be getting him if I gave him 25 or 26.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's outside of the last game where everything just went sideways, which obviously it could here too. But, I mean, 33, 31, 35 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, we're guessing. That's all we're doing. If he's going to play 1 minute in the second half of a game that's close, I don't know how to predict any of it anymore.
Yeah. I'll go 28 because obviously his range of outcomes is really wide.
I can't talk about them anymore. Utah Jazz not getting any love from an ownership perspective, and I'm getting a lot of these guys. So I'm really curious to get your take. Rudy Gobert is 9,800 on FanDuel, 8,200 on DraftKings, 3% expected ownership on FanDuel, and 6 on DraftKings. I have a couple multiples of both of those numbers. Is Gobert grading out well for you? Because he's grading out really well for me.
No, I'm more with the field on this one.
Really?
Not that I don't like him at his price tag. It's just that I think like I'm not going to get him over Yusuf Nurkic. I can tell you that. I'm not getting it. I'm going to get more DeAndre Jordan at 5,700. Like I would have more Horford.
You look at it now too. Like I like Rudy Gobert more than almost every center on the slate today.
Yeah, I'm definitely not there.
I have him behind Nurkic and Vooch.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Vooch.
But I have Gobert third. Like I have 14% Gobert on DraftKings, and he's at 6%. So it's not as if I'm saying that I'm getting 400 or something crazy. But yeah, I've got him pretty solidly ahead of a lot of these guys. Just trying to think if there's like a reason I should hate that, but
no,
honestly, it's kind of like the perfect spot to get him if he's not going to be owned.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. Like, I think that there's nothing wrong with him. I just don't have him graded out as highly as those other guys.
Yeah. Let me look at FanDuel too, since he's at 3% on FanDuel at 9,800, and I've got 19, so that one's a bit of a swing. I want to see who I have around him and just ping you with questions. So I have him behind Vooch on FanDuel. I have him ahead of everyone else at center. You would rather have Nurkic at 8,700 than Gobert at 98, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a coin flip for me. Neither guy getting any real ownership. Vooch is at 34% on FanDuel. I mean, I love Vooch, but even just getting a couple of those other guys around Vooch is probably not the worst idea on FanDuel today. Who else is around him? $8,200 Capella. Thoughts? Compared to Gobert?
Comparable.
Okay. I don't even have any.
Would rather just have Nurkic.
Yeah, so would I. Man, center's weird on FanDuel today because once you start getting into that range of Joe Val, Marc Gasol, now with Ibaka back, Horford, Jordan, Lopez, Rolo rather, Adams, Brolo, Noah. There's not a lot there.
Yeah.
Thinner on DraftKings that are on FanDuel than I would have expected. I'm gonna end up with a lot of Rudy Gobert. Fun. Speaking of guys I'm going to end up with a lot of, Donovan Mitchell, 8,800 on FanDuel, 7,800 on DK, 37 on Yahoo. He's at 9% on both sites. You getting any Donnie Mitchell?
Yeah, he's grading out well for me. Okay. The guard positions are stacked, but 7,800 I think is a little low. I have him at 1.2 points per minute.
Same.
Yeah, like 35
well,
minutes.
I got him at 1.22, so I don't know why you hate him so much.
I have him 1.21, so.
Exactly. See, I gave that extra 100 to Donovan Mitchell and took it away from whoever the fuck we made that joke about 5 seconds ago. Yeah, I'm all over Mitchell here. I feel like he would really enjoy playing in New York.
Yeah.
Like more so than the average person. I don't know. Derek Favors, 6,400 on FanDuel. Been pretty Favors heavy lately, I believe.
Yep.
Feel the same today for 6,400?
I think with FanDuel pricing, I'd probably get a decent amount just because it's tighter than DraftKings pricing.
Yeah. 5,800 on DraftKings. I don't really need it.
Right. Like I'm just getting the more Horford.
Yeah. Feels like an Ekpe Udo day for Utah if you're going to play the Knicks. Oh, that soundbite could be fun. Do you have anybody else from Utah?
Yeah. Ricky Rubio.
4,900. How many minutes did you give Rubio?
30.
30?
30.
Yeah, that'll make you get Ricky Rubio, I guess.
He played 26.8 minutes against Washington, and he sat the last 4 minutes and 37 seconds in a blowout.
I'm going to follow you with that one. I had him at 26.
Yeah. I think it's a spot where he could very, very easily be underprojected by most of the projection sites that people use. Because
if I put him at 30, I'm going to get quite a bit.
Yeah. So it's actually a spot that I'm pretty excited about, and I'm hoping that it works out that way because you tend to, we've talked about it before, how sites, kind of underproject people. Yeah. But in his 4 games back, he's played 22, 22, 23, 27 minutes. But the 27 minutes, like, he was on pace for 31, 32. 30 might be a little high. Like, I wouldn't argue with you if you wanted to make it like 28 or something, but
Yeah, today in particular,
yeah.
I don't get the sense that they need to stretch Ricky Rubio in this spot.
Yeah, I mean, my thinking though is just like if I'm going to project Mitchell for 35 or 36, I need to be giving Rubio like 30.
True. That's a good point. Yeah, he's at 8% expected ownership on DK. I assume you feel pretty good about that one.
Yeah, and if I give him like I only have him at like 1.04 points per minute. So if I give him 30, it gets him in the lineups. If I give him 28, it probably kind of doesn't. So I'm going to end up just going 30.
I put him in for 30 now. I have him at 1 minute or 1 point per minute flat. I'm going to get a lot. If I even move him to 28 instead of 26, I'm still going to get a ton. 4,900 is just too cheap. Let's get out of this mess. Hit that like button, everybody. Let's try to get a big number of likes.
Is Favors questionable today?
Favors?
He missed the entire second half last game.
Probable.
Okay. I was going to say Jay Crowder, obviously. But
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Here we go. Chicago Bulls hosting the Washington Wizards. 115.25 implied total for the Bulls, 117.75 for the Wizards. 2.5 point favorites in Chicago. Is this the best fantasy game on the slate today?
No.
Have we talked about it already?
No.
Blazers, Mavs?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this second?
Yes.
We have a ton to talk about here. We'll start on the Bulls side. 7,400 on FanDuel, 7,100 on DraftKings, $27 on Yahoo. What are you going to do with marketing tonight?
Start out by projecting him for like 30 or 32 minutes and not 35 or 36.
Yeah, I gave him 33 for today.
Yeah.
Think that's still too aggressive?
I mean, it's splitting hairs, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just like not getting the same run, huh?
Right. And he sucks also.
It makes me so sad. It really is kind of heartbreaking. So what are you doing with him? He's at 30% ownership on FanDuel right now. 23 on DraftKings.
Well, I'm still going to play a good amount because the price tag is more than making up for his issues. I don't think he like forgot how to play basketball. I still think he has upside. I think he's probably like tired or injured or something. But it's a great matchup. Washington cannot play defense. They cannot rebound. Both of those things really work in his favor. The price tag is really what sells it for me. I mean, I can't project him low enough not to be getting him at these prices.
I completely agree. I will have him. The idea of having 30% of him on FanDuel with the public is kind of not appealing to me.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll get that high.
But I won't fully be away from him. But he's not the guy that I want from. Well, I mean, this is just some of this is really weird. So we're gonna have to dig in even further. How do you feel about Levine today? 8,300 on FanDuel, 78 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I like Levine.
I have a ton of him right now.
Yeah.
He's projected for 9 on FanDuel and 6 on DraftKings. That seems crazy.
I will be ahead of that.
Yeah, I have 30. What's not to like about Zach LaVine here today? This is as good as it's going to get for him.
Yeah, 1.15 minutes points per minute since the All-Star break for LaVine.
Yeah. And all of the things that could be beneficial to make that number go up are in play on this game. Pace up. Not a great defense. I mean, they're fine, but nothing crazy.
How many points per minute do you have marketed and projected for?
Too many.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it out loud. Unless yours is higher than mine.
So I took his rates just like from the start of March just to try and get like the lowest reasonable like sample that I could.
Yeah.
And he's averaged 0.93 points per minute, but I still have him at 1.22.
Nice. Oh, that makes me feel so bad. Everybody can just suck one here because Adam's worse than I am about marketing. I got him at 1.17. Just remember, when Markkinen dies, it's because Adam is a bigger homer for Markkinen than I am. Thank God. Tired of taking this beating.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on an island for that stuff.
Well, the thing is, I wish that the field, like in tournaments, agreed with YouTube chat. I'd feel so much better about taking Markkinen.
Exactly. Jay Goods is not talking about things that are real in chat, so we can ignore that. Says that Alex has Markkinen as an A and an A, but he has not put out rankings yet today, so I'm not sure what you're looking at. But he's not in them because they aren't there. Why do you love Markkinen so much? 1.22.
I don't know. He's just a good player, man. Except for lately.
I love it.
Have you ever seen Bobby Portis play defense?
Yeah, he's like I'm trying to think of the name of he's like Ben Wallace out there. Rolo, no real interest.
Has there been a player this season that the sites have been more aggressive on their pricing than DraftKings has with Rolo?
Yeah, at 6,300 right now. What's Horford's 59, right?
Yeah.
Imagine a scenario where you play Rolo ahead of Al Horford today.
Like, there wasn't even a point where you could be like, where you had time to be like, oh wait, Rolo's like role changed. I'm gonna play him a bunch. Like DraftKings was just like, nope, no, you're not. Like he's 5,500 now because he played 30 minutes once.
Okay, so riddle me this one. YouTube chat is very big on the Rolo is killing Lauri Markkinen narrative.
He's
not. Just not, right?
There's nothing to back that up.
Nope, not at all. So I just wanted to make sure that we got that out there because that seemed like a fun thing to talk about. Yeah. No part of his statistical package of any amount of time over this last stretch says that Markkinen is doing worse because of that. He basically just stopped shooting and can't shoot.
Right.
Both of which are not happening because unless Rolo yelled at him. I
mean, like his rebounding percentage down some, but there's nothing to suggest that has a whole lot to do with Rolo. I don't think Rolo has anything to do with a 44.5% effective field goal percentage for Markkinen.
No, not at all. Not at all.
What is he for the season?
Markkinen?
Yeah, I know it's higher than he's 50.9% for the season. He's at 44.5% since the start of March.
Yeah. He is rebounding still. This is it's down like 1%. Not like
he's not rebounding like he was.
No, not at all. I'm also not projecting him like he was either.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, we've got a lot more to talk about here because there's two things that are standing out as really weird for me. I have a little bit of Chris Dunn at 5,700 on FanDuel. That I don't like. What do you have him projected for on a per minute basis?
0.92.
Okay, I need something wrong. I have 1.07. I don't even think Chris Dunn's mom would project him like that. I had to type something in wrong because I wouldn't expect that to show up like it does. But that's not really the thing that's catching my eye. Did I miss something here? What do you have Shaq Harrison projected for?
Minutes, points.
Anything really.
A lot more than I would like.
Okay. So more than 22 minutes?
Yeah, I'm at 30.
You have him at 30. Okay, because he's getting like 37% ownership on FanDuel and 36 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I mean, he's the value play for me right now.
So he's the direct benefactor for Porter being out?
Yeah, he started for him last game, played 32 minutes.
Keep in mind, Zach LaVine's questionable, by the way. Could be the reason that his ownership is pushed down. I'm just taking a look at Shaq Harrison's. Yeah, I guess we don't have much else to go on other than that one.
Right. And I mean, he's 3,200 on DraftKings and 3,800 on FanDuel. It's just an example of, for one, right now there's not much actual cheap value, and two, when you're 3,200, that's just such a different price point than like 4,200. In terms of how difficult it is for him to actually kill your lineup when you consider what it allows you to get by saving that much money.
I'm giving him more minutes now. I had it more spread between like TLC, Selden, Archie, but doesn't appear to be the case.
It's also the kind of game that Harrison should do well in, like just really fast, defensively minded player.
Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of him as of right now. Now that I see it, I got him up to 28 minutes. I don't see the need to go to 30. And I'm not totally confident he gets to 30. But he's going to play a lot. Yeah. And that price tag means play him. So we're on the same page there. And then I'll figure out what to do with Chris Dunn, because not 1.07 is the answer. Do you have anybody else from Chicago?
Nope.
Okay. Let's go to your Wizards.
If you want if you're just for whatever reason looking for a direct Jack Harrison like leverage pivot, it's Wayne Selden.
Boy. Yeah, I mean, I have some Selden too, but that'll change a little bit now that I don't have those same minutes for Selden. What are people talking about? Anyway. Your boys, 10-3 on FanDuel, 9,400 on DraftKings, $45 on Yahoo. How you feeling about Bradley Beal?
He's a good play as always.
Yeah, I got a lot of him today.
9,400 is really appealing on DraftKings when you're talking about 39 or 40 minutes against Chicago. He's also actually rested. Like, he only played 30 minutes against Utah because the Wizards got their asses kicked. He didn't play in the fourth quarter. So
he's my number one shooting guard today on FanDuel, and he's still 10-3.
What'd you say?
He's my number one shooting guard on FanDuel, and he's 10,300.
Yeah, shooting guard on FanDuel is really weird today. It's like Levine, Beal, Luka, and then nothing.
I'm a little higher on Mitchell.
Oh yeah, Mitchell. But yeah, so I mean, I really like the $9,400 DraftKings price on Beal. The problem is just that it's a really loaded price range with Kyrie, who we talked about, with Lillard, who we both love, with Luka, who I love.
And Beal is still stupidly just a shooting guard.
Right. Also an issue there. So, yeah, I do like him. Like, I didn't have him against Utah. I'm sure, I think I'll probably be back to having double-digit ownership on Beal today.
Yeah, if Levine is in, like, I have Levine, Mitchell, and Beal relative to their salary as basically the same, just straight across the board. Beal is at 24% ownership. Mitchell is at 9%. Levine, because of his Q tag, is at 6%. I would just rather not have that much Beal and spread it out across those three, because I don't really see much difference in them relative to their salary.
I agree with that.
Just really natural pivot points. Same thing on FanDuel too. I have them as relative coin flips. Beal at 28% ownership, Mitchell and Levine at 9% apiece. An easy way to just be a little bit different. Satoransky, I'm getting quite a bit of 5,600 on DraftKings. He's just too cheap for the amount of minutes he's going to play, especially against Chicago.
I agree with that. And also, he does have both guard eligibilities, which makes it a little bit easier.
It's not point guard, small forward anymore?
No.
Of course it's not.
But I would love to know who is playing point guard when Satoransky's playing shooting guard. Right. If Bradley Beal is also a shooting guard.
Right. It's stupid. It's so stupid. All right, we need to talk about a big crop of these Wizards. So I'm happy that it's you and I today, and not me and Laffy. Not that I don't love doing the show with Laffy, but we need a Wizards take.
Always be happy it's me, but whatever.
Is Trevor Ariza not playing the same sort of minutes any longer?
Yes and no.
What do you have him projected for today?
Like 32.
Okay, I have him at 35, so go for it.
So part of it's been blowout. Like, he played 25 against Utah in a blowout. don't remember why he played 26 against Memphis, 31 against Charlotte. Yeah, I mean, the minutes have definitely been down. And I think that makes sense just because of how crowded the front court is, and they're getting Jabari Parker more minutes. And Troy Brown's like playing now.
Yeah.
So I think 32 for Ariza is reasonable.
Okay. He's at 26% ownership on DraftKings right now, 4,600. How you feel?
4,600 is a pretty crazy price tag.
It is. I still like him. I just dropped him down to 33 minutes. I had him, arguably too high. What do you think about Bobby Portis's minutes?
I don't know. I mean, it's just I think it's a hot hand situation.
I gave him 26. I cut what I normally had. I'm still getting him 30% in particular on FanDuel, 10 on DK. What do you want to do with Portis?
So, what did he? I mean, he played 13 first half minutes against Utah. That game got out of hand real quick in the second half. I'm going to go 26 on Portis also.
Okay. And I'm going to get a lot of him, at least on FanDuel. Going to be really hard to avoid. Mid fives at power forward. When the best thing that's there, or the most expensive power forward is 9K Julius Randle. That just stands out to me.
Yeah, it's definitely I think it's a good risk to take in tournaments. There's no reason to get there in cash.
Revenge narrative?
They've already played, but yeah.
Just saying.
No, I mean, there actually is one there.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see Portis really having some not happy thoughts about Chicago.
He voiced them as soon as he came to Washington.
Yes, he did. Jabari Parker. Seeing an uptick lately. I put him in for 28.
So did I.
And I've got a lot of Jabari Parker. 6K on DraftKings, and I got 30%.
He's been good.
Yeah. 1.07. So when I was entering this stuff in, it was the last team, so I'm usually sick of walking through every team's minutes for the morning. But my first thought was I wonder if he's going to come back to Washington next year.
Yeah.
And it was just they're probably going to... Ernie Grunfeld's going to fuck that one up. Would you want him back?
I don't know the contract details, but...
I think it's an option for 20-something million.
But I mean, that's not even... I can't put that in the context because I don't follow the cap.
Do you need to know other people around that number, or?
Well, no, I just mean I don't know how much it hamstrings anything.
Well, it doesn't hamstring shit. They're screwed because of John Wall.
Right, that's what I was thinking. So, do I want to watch Jabari Parker play for the Wizards? Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he has a team option for $20 million next year, same salary as this year. As of next year, they have $27 million Bradley Beal on the books, which I'm sure they're not upset about. $15.5 million Jan Mahimi, which I'm going to go the other direction on.
Is that his last year?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Dwight Howard has a $5.6 million player option, which I'm going to go out on a limb and say gets picked up.
Yeah.
They don't really have anything else. Ariza's an unrestricted. Wesley Johnson's a unrestricted. Satoransky is a restricted free agent. Portis is restricted. Thomas Bryant's restricted. But I forgot to mention that $37.8 million will be paid to John Wall next season.
Yeah.
So if they bring back Parker, they have 54, 74, 89 million to Beal, Parker, Wall, Mahinmi, which you don't really, that's a pretty strong four-man combo of one guy or two guys that won't play next year.
Yep.
Oh man, which is a worse contract next year, John Wall or Jan Mahinmi?
Jan Mahinmi.
It's funny.
Every minute he plays is probably less productive than John Wall's season.
That's very true. Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of Washington today.
Yeah, I'm lower on Washington than you, I think.
Wait,
I still like Portis grades out as a secondary option. Parker grades out as a secondary option. I like Satoransky and Beal quite a bit. I don't know. I just the
what
front
about
court,
Ariza at 46?
Yeah, I'll get there. I have him behind Satoransky and Beal.
Portis 3% ownership on DK, Jabari at 7.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're saying you like them as like low-owned tournament plays, I'm with you. If you're saying you like them as like core plays, I'm not.
Okay. I would say I'm cool with Beal and Satoransky as core plays.
Yeah, on there. I think Thomas Bryant might actually be the most interesting guy in the front court.
Go ahead, hit me with it.
Just because, like, who at $3,900 gives you that kind of upside? He has power forward eligibility on DraftKings. He is a cheap center. You already mentioned how weird the center pricing is on FanDuel. It's a guy where the most likely outcome is he plays 18 to 19 minutes. He's averaging almost 1.2 points per minute since the Portis trade. So he doesn't kill you even if he gets 18, 19 minutes. But if he plays well, we've seen that he can get more minutes. And then he just wins, a tournament. So I just think that it's a spot where it doesn't have to come through all that often for it to be really, really profitable.
Okay. I don't disagree. I got 2% of him. It's not like he's not fully off my radar.
Like, I haven't in 19 minutes on DraftKings. I haven't projected for 24 DraftKings points at 3,900.
Okay. Yeah, I have him at 21 DraftKings points in 18 minutes, so we're pretty much right there. I assume he gets pinched out as the day goes on.
Like, I don't even know how much I would get, but he's someone that I want.
Okay.
Not that I make lineups based on who I want, but like,
right.
Just like theoretically, I think is a really good tournament play.
There we go. Anything else in this game?
No.
Hit that like button, everybody.
No, I had said that I was lower on the Wizards than you. I have 7 guys on DraftKings that I have graded out as like profitable plays, for lack of a better word, at their salaries. Okay. It's just that for the most part, none of them are jumping out except for like Beal and Satoransky.
Okay. A lot of similar to the Magic, I guess.
Yeah, very similar to the Magic.
Okay. There we go. The Memphis Grizzlies hosting the Houston Rockets. 106 implied total for the Grizzlies, 110 for the Rockets. This game is slow. Game is gross. The most I have of anybody from Memphis on FanDuel is 2% Noah. And I have 16% Avery Bradley, who is questionable on DraftKings. 4,900, I might add. Do you want any part of the Memphis Grizzlies?
I don't think so. No, not really.
Any issue with Bradley on DraftKings for 4,900?
No, not at all.
Okay.
If he sits, I guess like Justin Holiday gets more minutes.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Can we give some dap to Chandler Parsons for not getting hurt for like 2 weeks?
I was gonna say, is Parsons actually like a viable option with CJ Miles out?
0.69. Yeah, CJ Miles done for the season. 0.69 FanDuel points per minute over the last 30 days for Chandler Parsons. So while he's not hurt, he still sucks.
Yeah.
Not great. Anytime you're in a comparable category to Justin Holiday from a fantasy perspective, you're probably not doing all that well.
Correct.
Because I don't think they're going to give Chandler Parsons 34 minutes to make him viable. The fact that he's not the flat minimum is ridiculous.
He's not playing the Wizards, which is what anyone needs to be viable.
Yeah. Grizzlies suck. I really wish that Jaren Jackson was healthy for this.
Yep.
I really miss playing 30% of him when he's 1% owned.
That was fun.
And it failing.
It wasn't.
I mean, it made for funny jokes the next morning.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Houston. 12-1 on FanDuel for Harden. 11-3 on DK. 57 on Yahoo. No Eric Gordon tonight. How are you feeling about James Harden?
It's really tough for me to get there on DraftKings because he's $1,000 more than Westbrook. FanDuel, I think it'll be easier because the shooting guard position is weird and you just can't, you don't have the cross positional guys like you do on DraftKings. So I think it's probably pretty site dependent for me, but still a slow matchup against a quality defensive team.
Yeah. Leave it to
And supposedly he's playing like 34 minutes a night now.
Yeah, I have him in at 36. Did you cut it?
No.
Okay.
But it's just something worth pointing out. Like, I don't believe for a second that James Harden is losing minutes in competitive games, but
Sure. Leave it to the Grizzlies being so awful as a DFS opponent to somehow make $6,900 Chris Paul not crazy good instead of just like okay. Like I like him. I got 20%. The public's at 18. If I would have seen this before it started and saw Chris Paul was 69, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna have like 75% Chris Paul when I run this.
right, and it's also just such a loaded position.
Yeah. So if you're ever curious as to try to figure out like what Memphis's impact is, take a look at Chris Paul today. I can't even make him grade out as something ridiculous because they just suck. And there's just so to have Houston be in a pace down game is really difficult.
And to be fair, I do still have I have Paul's a good play at 6,900, but it's just like I have 5,600 Satoransky ahead of him.
Yep, we are on the exact same page here, and I don't even know how that's a possible thing. Craziness. I have a little bit of Fareed. I don't know why.
That's an excellent question.
How many minutes do you have him playing?
Like 16, 17.
Okay, I gave him 22. Probably the problem. I don't really want any Kenneth Fareed. I guess this is kind of like a Fareed game. I don't know. Trying to justify it, but I'm just going to take those minutes away from him. 6. And do you have any interest in Daniel House?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, 3,900 on FanDuel in particular has to be paid attention to.
Yeah, should just get huge minutes here.
Do you know why Capella didn't play a ton yesterday?
Nope.
Okay, because he didn't.
And I can't eat popcorn machine's not even giving me the game flow, so no.
They're out of popcorn.
Yep.
Yeah, turns out they're big fans of Daniel House. Who knew? Do you want anybody else from the Rockets?
Nope.
Same page.
Harden, Paul, and House, the big three.
Yep. House will probably be the guy I have more aggregate ownership for.
Yep.
Oh, this one should be a treat. San Antonio Spurs hosting the Miami Heat.
Worst game on the slate, right?
Yeah, probably. Knicks Jazz is pretty rugged too.
Yeah, better Knicks Jazz.
Yeah. 107.75 for the Spurs, 101.25 for the Heat. Both teams solid defensively. This is also not a very quick matchup. I don't have a single lineup with a Spur on FanDuel or DraftKings.
I don't think that's bad.
That's where I'm at. I don't have any takes. DeMar DeRozan is 7,700 on DraftKings and 13% owned, but I'm okay. He's been pretty good lately. 1.24 FanDuel points per minute over the last 30. I don't want him. I don't want anything here. You got anything?
No. Like DeRozan and Aldridge are like neutral plays for me, but there's just so many guys that I like more.
Yeah. We'll go to the Heat. No Justice Winslow. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Dragic doesn't go for 700 fantasy points again today.
Yeah, but I still think his price tag's kind of appealing.
Yep, I don't disagree. These guys are crazy priced on FanDuel compared to DraftKings, except for Bam and Wade. Did you see how many minutes Whiteside played last game?
No.
I think it's 7. It might be lower than that. Yeah, it's lower than that. It was 5. So there's that. Bam played 30. Whiteside played 5, just in case you want to make this team even more complicated. A little bit of Jay Rich, 6,200 on FanDuel. I feel like I say it every time, but his price is at a point in FanDuel where small forwards usually shitty.
Oh, so yeah, that was the game against Oklahoma City where Nerlens Noel was out, and I assume Jeremy Grant was playing center. Yeah. Yeah, not really a spot where you want Whiteside out there.
No, I gave Bam 28 and Whiteside 20 for this one.
Yeah, I went 29 to 19, but yeah.
That's fine by me. It doesn't make me want either of these guys. I got a ton of Kelly Olynyk on FanDuel. He's 5,400 on both sites. Only 9% expected ownership. Doesn't strike me as the type of game where Kelly Olynyk's going to get played off the floor. I have him in for 30 minutes, and I think he looks like a really interesting play for that price tag on FanDuel. Any thoughts?
Sure. I agree with your minutes. So if he gets there, he gets there. Like, I still just hate this game.
Yeah. He's the only guy that I actually have outside of way too much Derek Jones as like a drop guy for FanDuel, and that's just because of his salary.
Wade is the one that I have too much of.
Yeah, he's 5,800 on FanDuel, 4,800 on DraftKings. 16% owned on DK is the chalk play from the Heat. Did you give him 30 minutes?
I have him at 28. I'm still getting him as a pretty good play.
Yeah, so I have him at 28 as well, but I am nowhere near his recent rate. He's been at 1.09 FanDuel points per minute over the last 30. I'm only coming in at 0.93, and I can only assume that you're coming in a lot higher than that.
I'm at 1.03, so I'm kind of splitting the difference.
Yeah. He's a guy that I'll take a closer look at.
I also just always get a lot of Wade. So
I used to, and now I don't. And I don't know what happened. Probably a product of the Heat. Okay, do you want to get out of this game?
yes, please.
God. Hit that like button. We got through Spurs Heat pretty quickly, so that deserves a like. What am I getting tagged in? Popcorn machine is out of popcorn. Yeah, I deserve a tag for that. Oklahoma City Thunder taking on Toronto Raptors. 114 implied total for the Thunder, 109 for the Raptors. Great game. I want to watch it. From a fantasy perspective, it's a little murky. Russell Westbrook, 11.5 on FanDuel, 10.3 on DK. Paul George, 11K on FanDuel, 9,800 on DK. Are you getting to Westbrook and George?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not.
I mean, Westbrook 10,300.
I got 10% right now. We're projecting him to be owned 2%.
What? On DraftKings?
Yeah.
2?
Yeah. He doesn't have a Q tag, does he? No, he doesn't. He's back from suspension, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I would expect that to change.
Yeah, there's no way.
He's a. It's always hard for me to talk about guys like Russ in the morning show. Whatever I have will almost assuredly go up as the day opens up more value. So he's more difficult for me to get at 10:48 a.m. than he is at 6:48 p.m.
And so I don't have him projected for a particularly good score by his standards. It's just that his price tag is so stupid that I still really like him.
Yeah, no, and I don't disagree. He grades out really well, better than anybody else on his team, significantly ahead of Paul George, who I don't have any of.
No, I'm pretty high on George too.
Okay.
I have him for like 53 DraftKings points.
47.6. How many minutes do you have him playing?
37.
Okay. 1.4 points per minute?
1.45.
Yeah, I have him at 1.29.
Yeah, he's at like 1.4 since the start of February.
1.25 in the last 30 days on FanDuel. Yeah, I don't expect to get there.
Well, that includes his terrible shooting run.
True. Hey, I'm ahead of that number for the game.
Yeah,
I could give him another minute. That will certainly help. 37. Abdel Nader, 11. There we go. Anybody else from OKC? Because I'm not really getting to Adams. A tiny amount of Jeremy Grant.
If Noel sits, I like Jeremy Grant.
That I would agree with.
Yeah, that's something I think worth pointing out because people might like misconstrue why Jeremy Grant, or a big reason why Jeremy Grant was so good last game, because like people were talking about, before the game about, Grant getting a usage bump without Westbrook and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, sure, that's true. Noel sitting is what like made him the phenomenal play that he was.
Getting him to play the 5 is a much different story.
And
Schroeder?
40 minutes.
You didn't hear me, did you?
No.
Any Schroeder.
Oh. He's cheap enough where I don't have a problem with it, but I'm not going to get a lot.
Okay. Go to Toronto. Massive pace up spot for the Raptors. 5-point underdogs in Oklahoma City is kind of crazy. Everybody's healthy for Toronto? Is that right?
Lowry's questionable, as I saw.
Yes. Lowry questionable. Kawhi probable. Serge is back after trying to strangle the life out of Marquise Chris. 9,600 on FanDuel for Kawhi. 8,400 on DK. I have 1% and 2%. This guy's like milk.
Yeah, I mean,
you like that, huh?
Yeah, that was good. I like the price tag on him, but it's still Kawhi, and I still just don't think he's anything I'm prioritizing on this slate.
Yeah, the thing that I want to prioritize out of this game is on DraftKings, and he goes by the name Pascal Siakam. 6,800 on DK. Only 9% expected ownership. I've got quite a bit. Any thoughts on Siakam?
I might be taking a step back here.
Ooh, okay.
I actually 8,400 Kawhi. I do have actually as a really good play on DraftKings.
I have Siakam as the best play on the team. So talk to me about why you're taking a step back from Siakam.
No, I didn't mean Siakam. I meant.
Oh, you're take on Kawhi. Gotcha.
Yeah, I like Kawhi a little bit more than I realized.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean I like Siakam also.
Okay. Yeah, he's at 9. I got 24 on DraftKings. 68 is just, again, too cheap. If Lowry plays, do you have any interest? I have him in right now.
I have him in right now too, and no, I don't.
Yeah, I got zilch. How do you think they hash out center? I went 26 Ibaka, 22 Gasol.
I was gonna do 28 Gasol, 20 Ibaka.
Ooh, okay.
That's
why?
Pure guess.
Okay. I mean, obviously, like, we're not going to get the starters for this one.
Yeah, I just think Gasol's the better matchup against Adams.
Ibaka revenge narrative?
Yeah, of course.
Figured as much. Yeah, I don't know what to do there. If anybody's curious, like, your guess is as good as mine as to how Ibaka and Gasol split the center minutes, but I would expect them to be the only ones that play 48 minutes at center. So, use your discretion on that. If you think it's Gasol over Ibaka, make the adjustments. There's nothing we can do right now.
Yeah.
It just struck me as a time where they would give Ibaka more minutes because he's rested.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. If Lowry sits, obviously VanVleet is good.
Yeah, for sure. How many minutes did you give him?
27.
I gave him 24. Should probably give him more.
27 probably high.
What did you give Jeremy Lin?
11.
I gave him 6. I don't know who's going to take the haircut now with VanVleet back. Does Norm Powell just basically not play? Does Danny Green go to 24 or something stupid?
I 26.
Okay. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't matter whether Jeremy Lin plays 6 or 16.
Right.
You're not playing him, and I never really care how much. Like, I don't really ever care about shuffling the chairs of, sub 18-minute guys all that much.
Right.
We haven't seen this yet with everybody in, so I'll take 2 of those off here, give them to VanVleet. But ultimately, I don't really need anything from Toronto outside of Siakam. Sorry, Kawhi. They use that as a drop on Jalen and Jacoby so much now. It's great. You ready to close it out?
Yeah.
Actually, OKC Toronto means we probably have some props to look at. Russell Westbrook, you ready for Thrive prop?
Yeah.
22.5 points. You get 95 points for the over. How you feeling about Russ tonight?
24.1.
Okay. Yeah, I've got the over as well. Points, rebounds, and assists. Kawhi Leonard, 34.5. You get 95 points for the over.
Points, rebounds, and assists, 34.5.
Yes.
Man, now I have to do math.
That is difficult here for this show.
38.5.
Yeah, I have the over as well. It is my 19th ranked prop out of 20. So, not going to get there for Kawhi. Time to close it out. And we will be able to hit another prop. I've got a fairly high rated prop as well. 113.75 implied total for the Portland Trailblazers. 103.75 for the Mavs. That's a terrible implied total for Dallas. Difficult defensive matchup, and Dallas's defense sucks. Mavs are not doing great. You see the way they blew that most recent game too? Could get the ball in, they were up 4 with like 20 seconds to go and gacked it away.
No, I didn't see it.
Gross. Go to Portland. No CJ McCollum. A little bit of a pace down spot for Portland, but ultimately still a great matchup. 10-7 on FanDuel for Dame. 8,800 on DK. How do you get away from Dame Lillard on DraftKings?
I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, you just don't. He's at 33% ownership. It makes perfect sense.
Yep. I don't know how he was 11% owned last time, but I don't think that'll happen again.
I mean, I do, but it also didn't work, so it doesn't make me sound smarter. If he put up 44, I could have patted myself on the back, but since he didn't, I'm going to ignore it.
Yeah. So he's played 434 minutes since last season without McCollum alongside Nurkic. He's averaged 1.25 points per minute, 30.7% usage rate, 38% assist percentage. If you look at just the numbers without McCollum, it's like a 39% usage rate and 33% assist percentage. But most of his minutes should be alongside Nurkic, so you can cut it a little bit.
Speaking of Nurkic, 8,700 on FanDuel, 71 on DK, $30 on Yahoo. I like Yusuf Nurkic at 7,100 quite a bit. I'm over the field on Lillard and Nurkic.
In here.
There we go.
Nurkic over 30 minutes in 2 straight games as well, which is nice. I have him at 30 here, but he's at 1.16 minutes alongside Lillard without McCollum since last season. 30.4% usage, 20% rebounding percentage, almost a 14% assist percentage.
What did you said he was at 1.16 what?
Points per minute alongside Lillard without McCollum.
Oh, that's bad.
Since last season. He wasn't as good last season.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, like, I've got him in for 1.48 for this game. So
using his rates, I have him at 1.47.
Okay. Why do you hate him so much?
Yeah.
Perfect. And that has worked out really well today. That's, I like that new running gag of being off by 100th of a point per minute. Do you have anybody else from Portland?
No.
I'm getting a little bit of Seth Curry at 3,400 on DK, and that should price itself right out as the day goes on.
Yeah, I mean, 25. He played 25 minutes last game. Yeah. Hood played 24.
Yeah, I gave them both 26 for this spot.
Yeah, there was nobody that really emerged as a huge beneficiary. Mo Harkless is still going to play 26 to 28.
Yeah. Do you think that Seth Curry revenge narrative is in play here?
No.
Forgot he was on the Mavs for a second, and I really wanted to use that one.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Dallas. Late night hammer. Luka Doncic. 9,900 on FanDuel. 8,900 on DraftKings. $41 on Yahoo. The floor is yours, I guess, because I don't have him as much as I expected to.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the lowest that I've... Oh, hang on. His rates are also not right.
It's a bad spot for him.
Yeah, I guess, if there is such thing.
Well, I mean, there is.
There's never a bad spot for Luka. He's too good. I clearly have him behind other guys in his price range.
God, he's going to divorce you.
I still have him projected for 52 DraftKings points.
I'm at 47.5. So I'm right. Like, I've got 11% on DK right now. What do you have his rate for today?
1.53.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Why not?
That's like a full 1/10 of a point higher than what he's been over the last 30 days in a matchup with a 104 implied total and a difficult defensive spot. Not getting any boost of pace.
Portland sucks.
3% better than average over their last 15 games. Yeah, dude, I have 1.33. I'd feel weird if I got that up by another 1/10 of a point, let alone 2 more.
There are no rates for Luka that like.
You just put infinity symbols in for those spots.
I mean, he's at 1.4 points per minute since the All-Star break. He's at like 1.35 or whatever since the Dennis Smith Jr. trade. If I take his rates since Dennis Smith Jr. was traded, I get 1.53. If I take his rates since the All-Star break, I get 1.54.
Look, I love Luka, but
I don't think you know what the word love means, Josh.
I don't. Sorry, wife. More likely to love Luka. Yeah, I just look. How many minutes did you give him?
34.
Okay, yeah, so did I. I was hoping you just said 36, but
yes.
Look, I like him, and I'm gonna have him, and I assume that I get more of him as the day goes on because he gets easier to get to. But this doesn't strike me as full on smash.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I want to retract is when I said that Luka's not grading out as well as normal.
Oh man, do you want anybody else from Dallas?
I'm not saying I'm super comfortable with it. I'm just saying like that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And playing Luka very rarely steers me wrong. So I was talking this because Luka like was disappointing kind of until the fourth quarter and overtime last game, and I was talking to someone and he was like, "Yeah, it's because I finally played him. I always get him wrong." I was like, "Oh yeah, well I just play him every single slate normally, right?" So
yeah, you don't have to worry about him slipping through the cracks when you have him 82 times.
Yeah, behind Luka, it drops off.
Remember the days when we were like, "Oh, I'm not getting a lot of Luka. Standard deviation's low."
Yeah, that was a really bad take.
That's a stretch.
Standard deviation is low, but
yeah,
but now his projection's just like for 50 every day.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else. A little bit of Maxey on FanDuel, he's questionable. A little bit of Jalen Brunson on FanDuel, he's Jalen Brunson.
What's Luka's projected ownership on DraftKings?
9.
Okay, like all right.
You can't even speak.
I mean,
if I'm gonna have 60.
If I'm not comfortable with my Luka projection, but I also don't think it's wrong, and so I'm happy if he's low owned because at least I win the slate if he does what I have projected to do.
It also allows you to like soften the edges if he's 9% owned. Like you can have 30, have 3 times the field and be like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. I probably won't have 85%.
No, probably.
Yeah. Where do I have it?
Oh, sorry. I had a Thrive prop for you.
Oh, over. I don't know what it is, but
Luka Doncic. Points. 23.5.
I have 24.3.
You get 120 points for the over. Luka Doncic is my number 1 prop for the day.
Yeah.
I had to sandbag that one a little. I've got another prop in this game. Are you interested?
Yeah.
Dirk Nowitzki. This is fucking hilarious. Rebounds. You ready?
Yeah.
Over under 2.5. You get 90 points for the over.
I have 3.4. I
have something over that. Dirk Nowitzki over 2.5 rebounds is my number 3 prop for the day. I was like 2.5. I immediately started checking off like the steals or blocks boxes on my sheet. I was like, oh no, this is rebounds. What a weird prop. Thanks, Star.
I just went back to look and see where I have Luka ranked amongst my DraftKings plays when you factor in price.
Oh God.
Still have him as the second best play on the slate.
You're out of your mind.
Lillard, Luka, Vooch, Westbrook, Nurkic are my top 5 right now.
Okay, so
which is why I said that the Portland game was the best fantasy game. It's not because there were a lot of players. It's because 3 of my top 5 guys are in it.
Of all of the people that share either point guard or small forward eligibility, so the guys that can be at the same positions as Luka, I have him average, I guess.
You just look at his game logs.
I love him, but so, and look, I'm gonna get more of him as as the day changes. And probably a little bit more if I recrunched right now, just because I would get more Shaq Harrison.
Yeah.
So let's talk about guys around him.
Okay.
I want to know how ridiculous it really is. We've got Luka at 8,900. Would you rather have Luka or Kyrie?
I just told you he's my second best play on the slate.
I know. So Luka, it full stop. Like
everyone that you name except Damian Lillard, I'm going to say Luka.
Give me like weight on that a little bit. Just not just like no matter what, but is it like close or is it just like Luka in a landslide?
Luka in a landslide.
Okay.
I have Luka projected for the same amount of points as Bradley Beal.
Stupid Luka Doncic not popping up here because he's not a shooting guard and Bradley Beal is only a shooting guard. I have Beal at 51.5 on FanDuel. I have Luka at 45.3.
On DraftKings, I have Beal at 51.7 and I have Luka at 51.9.
Okay. You got them a little tighter.
But Luka's $500 less.
I have Dame so far ahead of him on DK.
I have Dame projected for like a 1.5 more for $100 less.
But like Giannis, Harden, Westbrook, Irving, Lillard, or Irving, Kawhi, all those guys are all relatively similar for me.
Westbrook on DraftKings is close to Luka. Like I have Westbrook at like 57 points, but he's 1,400 more expensive.
Yeah. Well, go Luka, I guess.
Yeah, I'm living and dying with Luka today.
Would you rather have Chris Paul or Luka?
Luka.
I'm kidding.
I was like, how many times do I have to tell you if it's not Dame Lillard, it's Luka?
You're crazy, man. Would you, in your mind, would you rather have Chris Paul or Luka?
Luka.
Okay. Because I know those are two different questions.
Yeah. No, I mean, so before I looked at my projection, before I had done my projection for Luka, like I knew he was going to be one of my favorite plays on the slate because he's $8,900 and he's a $10,000 player. Then when I looked and I saw that my baselines had him like where you have him, I was just like, wow, I'm really surprised. And then when I realized that my rates were completely wrong, I was also surprised how high I have him. So like mentally, I figured I had him as like the 5th best play on the slate, not the 2nd.
There you go, everybody. If Luka Doncic ever goes missing, check Adam's trunk.
Well, at least I won't have to look at my DraftKings scores until 10 o'clock.
How long do you think it'll take you to write your version of Stan for him?
Was that supposed to have an actual answer?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Did you start yet?
Yeah, halfway through.
Yeah. We'll have to see if we could. We'll put our lawyers on it right now to see if we can clear getting Dido's track to have Adam rap on. And I thought Hallelujah was going to be the best song about Luka Doncic this year. Alrighty. Coming up later today, Laffy will have the deep dive in the early afternoon. Deeper dive starting at 4:45, which generally means like 4:50 to 4:55. But Laffy and Adam will be back walking through this slate again. And then live before lock, Chris Baggs, Fast City Fear from 6 to 7, taking you all the way up until we close it out. A little bit earlier tonight, Ben Rasa, Jason Roslin, going at 8 o'clock instead of 9. Golf live before lock for the Valspar Championship. Tune in for those guys starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. Adam, anything else?
Nope.
There we go. Get your Luka shares, everybody, before Adam buys them all up. Best of luck. We'll talk to you later.